What's up everybody? Welcome back. So hope you're all having fun in the Ultra Remix. I'm certainly having an absolute blast because it's always refreshing to participate in a brand new meta. And for this video, I'm going to be trying out Meloetta in the Ultra League Remix Cup. And I'm pretty sure most of you might have tried it out already. It's obviously the new Pokemon from GoFest this year. And the best part of Meloetta is its typing, right? Because of that unique normal psychic typing, it's going to have some decent coverage and very useful resistances as well. Obviously, you have the normal subtyping on it, which provides coverage against Psychic's weakness to Ghost, and obviously Psychic provides coverage against Normal's weakness to Fighting, which means that its only real weaknesses are Dark and Bug types, and Bug types are almost non-existent in the Remix meta, and even Dark types aren't that common, but yeah, it's probably the only thing that you have to watch out for, right? And along with this team comp, I'm going to be using Snorlax as the save swap and Typhlosion as the closer. Snorlax obviously one of the best save swaps. It's extremely tanky. It's going to provide bulk for this team comp. And Typhlosion is without question one of the best closers, right? Especially with Blast Burn, Solar Beam, and if you can save shields for it, it can destroy a lot of backlines towards endgame there. So, by and large, I've had like positive sets as far as this team comp is concerned in most of the sets that I did. So I'm going to be putting some exciting battles together, so let's just get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here. I'm going to be leading with Meloetta, with Snorlax as the save swap and Typhlosion in the back. So we have Meloetta against a Dragonite. So it's actually kind of a neutral matchup this, but I don't have to really shield because if I can get a shield, I'm okay with that. I'm okay taking a shield advantage at this point. So I'm just going to go straight to the Psyshock here. Should probably get the shield from the Dragonite as it does there, which is fine. And I'm just going to let the Dragon Claw go through, right? I'm okay with Meloetta going down right now, but because like I said, Typhlosion in the back does really well with the shield advantage. So Meloetta is almost going to go down there, which is fine. Again, we did so much damage with Confusion. So I'm going to come in with my Snorlax right now and try and go for the Body Slam as soon as possible. But charge move coming through, it's probably going to be a Dragon Claw, but it ends up being an Outrage, just does so much damage to Snorlax actually. But I'm just going to go for the Body Slam as soon as possible before they can get to a Dragon Claw here. It does take out the Dragonite, and let's see what they have in the back. They have a Snorlax in the back, immediately switching in my Typhlosion here. And then I'm just going to try and go for this Blast Burn as soon as possible, right? But they actually make a switch into their Galarian Stunfisk, which is really good because Typhlosion with an energy advantage is going to do really well, right? Again, Blast Burn is super effective because of that steel typing. And also we have a 2 shield advantage as well. So I'm just going to shield this up. And then because we managed to sneak that Incinerate through, we should be able to farm down before they can get to another Rock Slide, right? This is absolutely perfect right now because I'm almost at 2 Blast Burns. I'm just going to go for the first Blast Burn here. Should probably get the shield from the Snorlax or do massive neutral damage as it does there. And then, yeah, I'm just going to have to basically get off 2 more Blast Burns, right? And also, we still have a bit of health on Snorlax in the back. But I luckily end up shielding the Outrage. I mean, that was actually a good call on their part. They probably thought that I would probably let one of those Body Slams go through. But, I mean, if I hadn't shielded that, that probably would have one-shot the Typhlosion from that range. But then again, I'm able to get one of the Blast Burn here, and that's going to take out the Snorlax there. So, as you can see, I mean, Typhlosion can absolutely run through a lot of team comps, right? There aren't really too many hard counters for it. I mean, you don't really have to worry about Pokemon like Swampert and Gyarados, which are obviously some of its biggest threats as far as the Open Ultra League and also Ultra Premier is concerned. And also you don't have to worry about Giratina Origin can be a bit of an issue, but you don't really see that too often, right? So anyways, moving on to the second battle here. They're met with a Galarian Stunfisk on the lead. Immediately going to save switch into my Snorlax because obviously Meloetta doesn't have a great matchup against Galarian Stunfisk. I'm going to let this go through here. It's just a Rock Slide, doesn't really do that much damage. They are still staying in, which is interesting. And I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake right now. This is exactly why I like running Earthquake on Snorlax, is to provide coverage against some of those electric types, against some of those poison types, and also some of those steel types. I do prefer it over Superpower because, I mean, I obviously don't want the attack and defense. Any Body Slams as possible here. It's going to do quite a bit of neutral damage against Sylveon, and then I'm really hoping I can get off another one before they can charm down the Snorlax here. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get it, which is okay. And I'm actually going to wait out the switch clock a little bit and then come in with my Typhlosion and completely farm it down here, right? So just going to completely farm it down. Might have to invest a shield in this matchup, even though, yeah, probably just going to be a Moonblast or something, but even though it's resisted, it's still going to do quite a bit of damage. So I'm going to shield this up. It's a Dazzling Gleam actually, and I'm going to completely farm it down. We have so much loaded energy right now, right? And they come back with their Galarian Stunfisk, which is really interesting because we have so much loaded energy right now. Going to go for the Blast Burn here. This should get the first shield from the Stunfisk. I'm going to immediately go for the next one right now. This should probably get the second shield as well. And now it's just a race to the charge move, right? Can we get to a Blast Burn before they can get off 2 Rock Slides here? So I'm going to shield this up here. And then at this point, I know that they can probably get to another Rock Slide before I can get to a Blast Burn. So I'm actually going to do one Incinerate and try and catch the Rock Slide on my Meloetta. Unfortunately, they don't throw and they make a switch into their Giratina Origin, right? Now, this is a really solid matchup for Meloetta because those Ghost moves are resisted, right? Because of that normal typing. Single resisted because of that normal Psychic typing. But anyways, as you can see, Psyshock does quite a bit of neutral damage against Giratina there. Unfortunately, they have Dragon Pulse. That does a lot of damage actually. And at this point, I realized my only win condition is to stop attacking, right? I stopped tapping there because I need to come in with my Typhlosion and farm it down, right? Because, again, Galarian Stunfisk can beat Typhlosion to the charge move. But the one key mistake I made there was I tried to sort of... I stopped tapping a little too early. I mean, I should have probably gotten off one extra Confusion through so that I could have put it into Incinerate farm down range, and then I could have gotten off Blast Burn on the Galarian Stunfisk, right? So definitely a bit of a misplay on my part. If I'd just done one extra Confusion, that would have probably put it down into perfect Incinerate farm down range before they could have gotten off an Ominous Win, and I could have probably landed a Blast Burn on the Galarian Stunfisk there. So anyways, moving on to the third battle here, we have Meloetta into a Lugia. This is actually not a great matchup because obviously those Confusions are resisted. Immediately going to save switch in my Snorlax here, and they make a switch into the Ampharos, and I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake right now. This is actually one of those other scenarios where Earthquake really helps. They're probably expecting a Body Slam right now, but boom, Earthquake just does so much damage, right? Near one-shots. The Ampharos doesn't quite one-shot it, obviously, because it doesn't have stab coming from Snorlax, and also Snorlax doesn't have a very high attack stat. And luckily I end up shielding the Focus Blast, which is really good. I'm going to be able to farm down the Ampharos there, and let's see what they decide to come back in with. They actually come in with Lugia, right? Which tells me that they don't really have a solid response to Snorlax. So I'm going to try and go for as many Body Slams as possible. Obviously, Lick is doing super effective damage because of that Psychic typing on Lugia. Able to get to another Body Slam as well. And yeah, let's see what happens here. They do give up a shield, which is huge right now. And then I'm just going to let it go through, right? Probably going to be a Sky Attack, which is probably going to almost take out the Snorlax from this range. Doesn't quite take it out, but unfortunately they're going to be able to farm down quite a bit, which is okay, right? I'm going to actually come in with my Meloetta here, and then I'm going to try and completely Confusion down. I'm going to shield this up because an Aeroblast would probably one-shot from this range, but it just ends up being a Sky Attack, which is unfortunate. And this is just going to be another Sky Attack, right? Because they're going for it back-to-back here. I'm going to let this go through, and then I'm just going to try and completely Confusion down this Lugia here. Even though it's resisted, we should be able to farm it down and have a lot of loaded energy for whatever is in the back. And they actually come in with their Gengar, and this is beautiful, right? I'm going to go for the Psyshock here. Obviously, Psyshock is super effective. It does get the shield. So at this point, I'm actually going to build up to almost the next Psyshock and try and catch a Shadow Punch on my Typhlosion here, right? Because I don't want them to take out the Meloetta there, because they're probably going to beat Typhlosion to the charge move. So at this point, I'm just going to try and build up to a Blast Burn. Unfortunately, not able to get it, which is fine. If it's a Shadow Punch, we can survive it. It ends up being a Sludge Bomb, which is fine, right? Because we're basically one Confusion away from another Psyshock, and I'm able to get to a Psyshock here. And this is obviously easily going to one-shot the Gengar, right? Super effective because of that poison typing, and yeah. It's just going to one-shot it even from full health anyways there. So, I mean, Gengar doesn't really have too much play against this team comp at all. I mean, you have like 2 hard counters for it. And even Typhlosion has a pretty decent matchup against it, right? So, anyways, moving on to the next battle here. We have Meloetta against a Mew. Once again, really solid matchup this. They make a switch into their Politoed. And because we have another response to Mew in the back, Snorlax can handle Mew as well, which is great. So I'm going to let this go through right now. I'm going to stay in with Meloetta because we still have Thunderbolt, right? Which is going to be doing super effective damage. But I'm actually going to go straight for the Psyshock right now. Because they're probably going to shield anyways. And even if they don't shield, it's going to put them into Confusion farm down range, which is okay. And yeah, they do shield that, which is okay. I'm going to let this go through. We can tank a Weather Ball. And I'm just going to try and get to another Psyshock as soon as possible here. But if they decide to go for a Weather Ball, I'm going to let it go through, right? It's absolutely fine. I'm going to maintain a shield advantage at this point. And yeah, it's going to obviously come in with Snorlax here, obviously, because Typhlosion doesn't have a great matchup against Politoed. And I'm going to let it go through. Just going to be a Weather Ball. Doesn't really do that much. Hardly does anything, to be honest, against Snorlax. And yeah, just going to try and go for this Body Slam as soon as possible. This Body Slam is going to do quite a bit and put this Politoed into Lick farm down range. And yeah, probably going to be able to farm it down from this range. Going to let this go through as well. This is going to be another Weather Ball. Too soon to be a Blizzard or an Earthquake. And yeah, it's going to completely farm it down here. Really hoping I can do it before they can get to another Weather Ball. But unfortunately, they get to another one, right? That's the thing with Politoed, is that it just spams those moves so quickly, right? And yeah, anyways, they actually come in with their Whimsicott right now. I'm just going to go for the Body Slam. Ideally, I should have switched into Typhlosion straight away, but we end up getting a shield, which is huge right now, right? Now, Typhlosion is absolutely set to sweep endgame because they make a switch into their Mew, and this is GG's right now. I'm going to go straight for the Blast Burn. We still have 2 shields. Blast Burn is going to do massive neutral damage against Mew, and it's going to put it into perfect farm down range, right? I'm going to shield this up, and I'm going to be able to farm it down and come out of this matchup with a Blast Burn here. So I'm going to shield this up. Hopefully, I can get to Hopefully I can farm it down, which I'm able to, and then yeah, Whimsicott has no play in the back. They decided to surrender there because Blast Burn would have easily one-shot it there. And that's the thing I think about Ultra Remix is that it's really dominated by a lot of XL Pokemon, which is kind of annoying, but yeah, it's understandable at the same time because it just gives so many more Pokemon the opportunity, right? I mean, you see Pokemon that you wouldn't have seen otherwise, which makes it, I guess, a lot more diverse and interesting meta to play against. So anyways, moving on to the next battle here, we have Meloetta into a Snorlax. Once again, a pretty decent matchup this because, again, Lick is resisted because of that normal typing. And yeah, but I'm gonna have to probably shield once. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and build up a little extra energy here and try and go for the Psyshock right now. It's gonna do quite a bit of neutral damage against Snorlax. Obviously, Confusion is really adding up as well, obviously, because it has Stab as well. And they shield that, which is interesting, right? So at this point, I'm gonna let it go through because they shielded that. I'm not gonna shield this. I'm gonna let it go through. We should be able to get to another Psyshock here, which I'm able to. This is gonna do quite a bit of neutral damage against Snorlax. Isn't quite going to take it out, but it's going to put it into perfect farm down range for Typhlosion, right? And once again, Typhlosion with an energy advantage is absolutely deadly there. So I'm going to let it go through. This is just going to be a body slam, too soon to be something like an earthquake. It is just a body slam. I'm going to be able to farm it down, right? Again, Typhlosion, like I said, I'm going to be able to come out of this matchup with a Blast Burn here. And they actually come in with their Politoed, and I'm going to go straight for the Solar Beam right now. I'm not going to bait because we still have 2 shields, and I'm just going to go straight for the Solar Beam. And near one-shots the Politoed, and I'm going to switch into my Snorlax to catch the Weather Ball here. And at this point, we've pretty much sealed our win condition here, right? And they make a switch into the Nidoqueen. And again, this is also one of those other matchups where Earthquake really helps because most people expect the Body Slam. And I'm not going to shield this. I'm just going to save both shields for Typhlosion right now. And I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake right now, right? Again, massive super effective damage because of that poison typing on Nidoqueen. Isn't going to one-shot it, but just does so much damage there. And at this point, yeah, it's just pretty much over for them, right? Because both Nidoqueen and Politoed are in fast move farm down range there. So as you can see, this is like a really solid, powerful team comp. I mean, this is actually the first set of battles that I did, and I went 4-1. Obviously, lucky enough to get a Dialga here as well. But I mean, it's actually a pretty solid team comp. And for the most sets that I did, I was like consistently going like 4-1 and 3-2 with this team. So anyways, let's move on to the second set of battles here. Meloetta against a Snorlax once again. So once again, like I said, I mean, we should be able to probably sort of... I don't mind giving up a shield advantage as long as I can win switch advantage and come out of this matchup with a lot of energy here. So I'm going to let it go through here. Going to be a body slam. But actually, one thing that ends up happening is I don't end up sneaking a Confusion through, which ends up kind of costing me this game, right? So I'm just going to go for the Psyshock here. It does quite a bit of neutral damage against Snorlax. And I'm going to have to shield this up, and this is where I should have, I mean, ideally, I would have liked to sneak a Confusion through there, but unfortunately, because I wasn't able to do that, I'm not going to be able to farm it down before they can get to another Body Slam, right? Because they get to another Body Slam, I'm going to have to shield this up because I don't want to waste all that energy on Meloetta. And you don't really want to go down 2 shields, right? This is not a great situation to be in at all. So, but we're at 2 Psyshocks right now. They actually come in with their Blaziken. So this is very interesting. This tells me that the probably whole team is weak to Meloetta. So I'm going to go for the Psyshock here. And I'm barely able to get to another Psyshock. This is probably going to get the second shield from Blaziken as well. But unfortunately, we don't really have a solid response to Blaziken in the back, right? I mean, Snorlax doesn't have a great matchup against it. And even Typhlosion doesn't really do that great against it, especially if it has Brave Bird. So I was actually trying to catch a Brave Bird on Snorlax. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch correctly. But they actually go for Blast Burn, which tells me they're probably running Blaze Kick and Blast Burn. And now they make a switch into their Crobat, right? So I'm going to go for the Body Slam here. And then it's going to try and go for as many body slams as possible, right? It's going to try and go for another one before they can get to a move. But unfortunately, they are able to farm us down, which is not great. So at this point, I'm just going to come in with my Typhlosion and go for the Blast Burn as soon as possible because I don't want them to get off a Shadow Ball or something. And yeah, it's just a race to the charge move right now, right? I'm really hoping I can get to a Blast Burn here. Fortunately, we managed to sneak and Incinerate through. But they get to a move first, and Blast Burn just does so much resisted damage there, right? Again, Blaziken is an absolute monster. Honestly, this team isn't really great against Blaziken, especially the back line of this team. I mean, if you catch it on the lead, that's actually pretty solid. But if you see, I mean, their whole team was pretty much weak to Meloetta, right? They had a Crobat in the back, and that's... Many people like to have Snorlax, Gengar cores, Machamp cores, and then team comps which have Machamp, Snorlax, and Gengar. I mean, Meloetta does pretty well against that whole team comp, right? So we have Meloetta against an Abomasnow here. This is not a great matchup because Abomasnow outpaces Meloetta to those charge moves. So we're going to catch the Weather Ball on Snorlax here, and then... Main reason I want to do that is I want to basically line up my Typhlosion against their Abomasnow later on. So I'm really hoping they switch out actually. But they are still staying in, which is fine. I'm going to let this go through as well. Just going to try and build up a little extra energy. I just want to basically build up to what would look like 2 superpowers so that I can hopefully force a shield out of them. I'm going to let another Weather Ball go through. So I'm going to actually build up to 2 Body Slams here. I'm really hoping this gets the shield, right? I'm hoping they think it's a superpower. And I'm going to go for the body slam here. It doesn't get the shield, which is fine. I'm going to be able to barely get off another body slam. This is probably going to get the shield from the Abomasnow because it's going to take it out. And yeah, it does get the shield, which is great because I'm going to be able to come in with Typhlosion and farm it down, right? So I'm going to come in with my Typhlosion here. Unfortunately, we're not able to sneak and Incinerate through, which is okay. Gonna soak up the Weather Ball here. Everything Abomasnow has is resisted by Typhlosion, and one Incinerate should pretty much take it out there. And they have a Sylveon in the back. This tells me that they don't really have a solid response against Typhlosion, right? Because Sylveon is definitely not a Typhlosion counter right now. So I'm going to build up to 2 Blast Burns here. I'm going to go for the first one right now. And they surprisingly let that go through, and that near one-shots the Sylveon, right? At this point, I'm going to be able to farm it down, which is great. We're basically 1 Incinerate away from 2 Blast Burns. And they have an Excadrill in the back, which makes sense, right? I have 2 Blast Burns right now. I'm going to go for the first one. I'm really hoping I can get off the second one before we go down to the fast move damage. But unfortunately, we go down, which is unfortunate. But luckily, we still have Meloetta with 2 shields in the back. And again, Excadrill is nowhere near as tanky as Galarian Stunfisk, right? So it's going to take quite a bit of neutral damage against, quite a bit of resisted damage actually from these Psyshocks. And even Confusion is really adding up. So I'm going to shield this up. And then, yeah, all I have to do is basically get to a Psyshock here, right? I'm going to try and get to a Psyshock here. And we managed to sneak another Confusion through, which is great. Going to shield this up as well. And then, yeah, just going to try and go for the Psyshock as soon as possible. But unfortunately, I end up over-tapping there. And that almost ends up costing me the game there. Because they're able to get off another charge move. Drill Run coming through. Near one-shots the Meloetta. But luckily, I'm able to click the Psyshock there. And it's going to go through and take out the Excadrill there. Too close. I mean, honestly, that's one of those issues with this team as well. Like, you do have to watch out for over-tapping, especially for Meloetta. And also, especially for Typhlosion as well, right? So anyways, moving on to, I believe, the third battle of the second set here. We have Meloetta against a Mandibuzz. So Mandibuzz is actually one of the toughest leads. Immediately going to save switch into my Snorlax here. And they actually come back with their Abomasnow, which is not great. I would have liked the Abomasnow to be at the back because, again, Typhlosion can completely farm it down there. So, going to go for the Body Slam. Going to try and spam as many Body Slams as possible. Charge Move coming through. Probably just going to be a Weather Ball here. I'm going to let this go through. I see quite a few Abomasnows as well. And yeah, that's actually a Best Buddy Mandibuzz and a Best Buddy Abomasnow. Probably both excel right there. So, just going to go for another Body Slam here. And then, yeah, try and get to another one. But Charge Move coming through. I'm going to let this go through as well, but ends up being an energy ball this time. Does so much more damage, but we should be still able to get to another body slam here, right? This is again probably going to get the shield from the Abomasnow because they would probably want to maintain switch advantage. It does get the shield, which is okay. And yeah, I'm just going to come in with my Typhlosion here and farm down the Abomasnow, right? This is probably just going to be a Weather Ball, which is resisted because of that fire typing. And we sneak the Incinerate through as well, which is going to take out the Abomasnow from that range. And they actually come in with their Gallade, which is interesting. So I'm actually going to go straight for the Blast Burn right now. Probably going to get the shield from the Gallade as it does there. And then I'm just going to try and build up to another Blast Burn here. Charge Move coming through. It's going to be a Leaf Blade. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to overfarm a little bit and try and catch a move on my Meloetta here. So I'm going to overfarm a bit. And then this is where I make a bit of a mistake. I honestly should have thrown the Blast Burn right away, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to actually shield this up. And then I'm just going to try and switch into my Meloetta here, but they come in with their Mandibuzz, right? So I'm going to let this go through. I mean, we have no more shields right now, so I'm going to have to let this go through. Dark Pulse is going to do quite a bit of super effective damage, but I'm really hoping I can get off a Thunderbolt here, right? But I'm barely able to get to a Thunderbolt here, and that's a good thing about having Thunderbolt on Meloetta. It's going to do super effective damage against Mandibuzz because of that flying typing, and it's going to put it into Blast Burn range, right? Which is really crucial right now. So Charge Move coming through, which is really good. I was really hoping they wouldn't farm down. Dark Pulse is going to take out the Meloetta, and my only win condition here is to build up to 2 Blast Burns, right? I'm going to build up to 2 Blast Burns here. Going to go for the first one. This is going to take out the Mandibuzz, and I'm just going to go for a Blast Burn as soon as possible, and this is going to take out the Gallade from that range there. So I was really conscious about over-tapping that, but again, Blast Burn is going to do massive neutral damage and take out the Gallade. That was probably my only win condition there, because obviously we would survive the Snarl damage, but one Confusion from Gallade would have probably taken out the Typhlosion there, right? So too close for comfort there, but once again, Typhlosion coming in super clutch towards endgame. So moving on to the next battle here, we have once again going up against a Galarian Stunfisk, which is not a great matchup, so immediately going to switch in my Snorlax here. And then they are still staying in, which is interesting. And then I'm just going to try and go for an Earthquake as soon as possible, right? This is probably going to be an Earthquake as well. I'm going to let it go through. It's going to do about 50% of Snorlax's health, which is okay. And I'm not going to bait in this matchup. There's no point baiting, right? I mean, I just want to get off the damage or get their shield. It's going to go for the Earthquake here. It does massive super effective damage there. It does about 60% of Stunfisk's health. And I'm going to try and get to a Body Slam. Unfortunately, not able to get it in time, which is okay. I'm going to let this go through. Earthquake is probably going to KO from that range as it does there. But I'm going to be able to come in with Typhlosion and farm it down, right? I'm really hoping I can farm it down before they can get to a Rock Slide. And yeah, unfortunately, they're able to get to a Rock Slide there. So I'm going to shield this up. This Incinerate damage has registered, so it should take out the Galarian Stunfisk there. And we're basically one Incinerate away from a Blast Burn, right? And they actually come in with a Dragonite, and Dragonite is really tough for this team comp, especially towards endgame there. And they have a Meganium in the back, and that's a really solid team, right? I mean, having Dragonite and Meganium in the back, that's a really tough team comp to go up against. I mean, especially considering that I've lost switch advantage right now. But anyways, I'm going to actually let this go through. Probably going to be a Frenzy Plant, which is going to KO the Meloetta from that range. And my only win condition here is with Typhlosion, right? I'm going to have to farm it down. I'm really hoping I can farm it down before they can get to a move. And I'm really hoping this is just a Frenzy Plant. If it's an Earthquake, it's going to KO, but I'm going to have to let it go through, right? Ends up being an Earthquake, does take it out. But I mean, I really had no choice there because Dragonite had so much loaded energy as well. And there's just not a lot that I could have done there, right? A really solid team comp, basically having Galarian, Stunfisk, Dragonite, and a Meganium. That's like probably one of the best teams that you can sort of go for as far as the Ultra Remix is concerned there. So we are 2-2 in this set right now. It's probably the second, yeah, this is the second set of battles. So moving on to the final battle here of the video. So we have Meloetta into a Dragonite. Once again, the way I like to play this matchup out is I like to go for the Psyshock, and I'm not going to shield here because I'm okay taking shield advantage in this particular matchup. So I'm just going to go for the Psyshock right now. Does get the shield from the Dragonite, which is okay. And Charge Move coming through. It's probably going to be a Dragon Claw here, which is okay. It's going to probably put us into Dragon Breath farm down range, which is not great, but it's okay. I'm going to let it go through as well. So obviously going to come in with my Snorlax here, and then, yeah, probably going to have to soak up a Dragon Claw right now, which is fine. And then, yeah, it's going to be a Dragon Claw. I'm actually going to overfarm a little bit here. I'm going to overfarm a little bit. I'm going to basically soak up another Dragon Claw as well, which is fine. I want to basically come out of this matchup with at least a Body Slam. So just going to overfarm a little bit here and then try and go for a Body Slam as soon as possible before they can get to another Dragon Claw. Body Slam is going to take out the Dragonite from that range. And let's see what they have in the back. They actually come in with their Armored Mewtwo, so immediately going to go for another Body Slam here, right? It's going to basically chip away into this Armored Mewtwo, hopefully put it into Blast Burn range. So immediately going to switch into my Typhlosion here. And they are still staying in, right? Which tells me that they don't really have a solid response to Typhlosion. So immediately going to go for the Blast Burn here. And let's see if this gets the shield from the Mewtwo. It does get the shield, and at this point it's like almost for sure that they have something in the back which is weak to Typhlosion, right? And I'm going to shield this up here. It's just it is a Rock Slide, which is, it's a good thing we shielded that. I mean, at this point we basically have to shield everything. I'm going to shield this up as well. And I'm just going to actually build up one extra Incinerate and then throw a Charge Move, right? It's going to actually be overfarm by one and then go for a Blast Burn here because I really want to be able to get off a Blast Burn at whatever is in the back, right? Blast Burn is going to take out the Armored Mewtwo, and they have an Excadrill at this point. And I'm actually going to try and switch into my Snorlax to catch Charge Move. Probably wasn't necessary, but I was actually worried about the overtapping there. But I'm going to catch the move on Snorlax, which is great because I'm going to be able to come back with Typhlosion here and go straight for the Blast Burn. And this is easily going to one-shot the Excadrill, right? I mean, it's just super effective because that's Steel typing and just one-shots it there. So as you can see, in Typhlosion, this was, I guess, as much of a Typhlosion showcase as it was a Meloetta showcase. And I feel like this team comp is really solid. Obviously, went up against a couple of really tough team comps in this particular set, but like I said, by and large, this team is kind of guaranteed to give you positive sets there, right? So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.